Hello, folks. It's great to have you once more back on our train as we move on our journey to becoming a great writer. Um, I hope you still remember a few things we discussed the last time with respect to spelling and how you can inundate your audience with great and top quality content. How you can encourage them to read what you have put up. Specifically, we spoke about spelling to the right audience. We used the American and the British audiences as case study. And I told you extensively that in writing to a British audience, there are words that are different from words that are meant for American audience. So each of these audiences is different in terms of spelling. And we gave a couple of examples, a couple of words to show that truly when you're writing to an American audience, your words must be spelled correctly. Ditto the British audience. Um, Today I'm supposed to take you on grammar. We all understand how expanded and how extensive it is. But from the feedback I got in our last discussion, I realized that if we go on grammar, we'll be discussing on an assumption, on a very shaky assumption, that as a newbie, you know who you are. You know what you are good at. And that will be dangerous and risky. That you don't know who you are, you don't know what you are good at, and move straight away into understanding the specifics of writing will be a dangerous adventure in the final analysis. So I think it's important for us to brush up on the topic of who we are. We're not doing psychology. We're not doing human understanding here in a broad sense. But we're trying to relate who we are to content writing. All right? So today we're going to be dealing with that aspect of our writing. Who are you? Listening to me now, can you honestly and frankly answer that question? That I know who I am, I know what I'm good at. So permit me to just assume that I don't know who I am and I don't know who you are and you don't know who you are. So it's on the basis of that we can move on to understanding a few things about how you can put up very quality content. And part of that assumption will also be that a lot of us think that a university degree or certificate automatically qualifies us or makes us eligible to be writing on a discipline that we studied in the university or college. Most times that is not true. It's not every medical doctor who can communicate his knowledge in writing. It's not every political science graduate or student who can communicate what he knows in writing. So it's essential you know exactly who you are. And I'm going to take you to antiquity. I'm going to explore two great thinkers, Socrates and William Shakespeare. Shakespeare said, "To thyself be true. You must be true to yourself." And that was predated by Socrates' idea of an unexamined life is not worth living. So having said that, what we can derive from those two quotes is that a potential writer must know what he is good at, what niche, what industry, what area are you good at. It does not matter, you could be a medical science enthusiast, but your interest in writing does not lie there. Your interest may lie in somewhere else, but you also need that background knowledge. So we're going to divide our interaction today into two sections. One, who you are, and two, under which environment can you write well. So if I say, who are you? I'm asking the question about what type of writing suits your style. What niche can you confidently pick and proficiently write on? We have academic writing, we have non-academic writing. The latter being the more liberal. All right? So, if I pick academic writing, for example, you pick a paper, an academic paper, you see different referencing styles. You will see APA, the American Psychological Association style. You will see the MLA, the Modern Language Association style. You will see the MHRA, the Modern Humanities Research Association style. You will see the Tuberian. You will see Harvard. Each of these referencing styles comes with their specific needs and requirements. So you cannot mumble things up. You cannot take APA for MLA for Harvard, Harvard for Tuberian. You must follow the rules. So having said that, we're going to go into non-academic writing. This is the, like I said earlier, most liberal of four writing types. Liberal not in the sense that it is not structured or organic or scientific, but that it gives the writer the freedom, the license to create. It gives the writer the license to think outside the box, to produce, to be creative, to introduce new items, both in terms of the way he put it down and in terms of whether you are in terms of tone. Is it going to be too professional? Are you going to be friendly? Are you going to be conversational? Is it going to be dialogue? Is it going to be a story-like? So that is the aspect of non-academic writing that interests a lot of us. That freedom, that license to write based on your ingenuity and creativity. So we have a whole lot of niches under that non-academic writing. We have press release and news reports. Are you a type who is very good at converting news reports to press release or press release into news report? That is a niche, a very wide niche. And in our subsequent editions, we're going to be treating each of these niches based on their specific needs and requirements and what you must do, all right, to come out with top quality content that will encourage your audience and your readers to be longing for more. We have biography. Biography has to do with writing about maybe someone, a prominent person or a non-prominent person who wants his life or a life to be documented. You have a lot of information there that you need. What sort of information? So a biographer must understand what sort of information do I need. So having gotten the information, how do I put it down? Am I writing in a story form? Am I writing in a dialogue form, in an interview form? Am I writing it in a form of a monologue or a report? You can write a biography in a report, like a report. We have sports, very wide, right? We have the basketball, we have the football, we have the baseball, we have the volleyball, we have the ice, we have the ice hockey, we have the rugby, you have the, so many of them. But each of them is unique in terms of requirements, in terms of the terms that are associated with them. All right? So you cannot pick up a term from rugby and put it or export it into football. For example, you say rear guard, or you say a defender. So you're not going to import one for the other or substitute one for the other. They have different terms associated with them. All right. SWOT analysis. By SWOT, we mean strength, weakness, opportunities, and threat. So what you want to do analysis maybe of a software, a SWOT analysis of a software, or a SWOT analysis of a project, or a SWOT analysis of a program. So you must understand the strength. Sometimes you must have an experiential knowledge of what you want to write on most of these on a SWOT analysis. It can be finance, it can be business. All right. Then you talk about market research. Of course, that's a niche on its own too. Writing market research on different products, on different services, and you want to write content. Maybe you need call to action. You need your audience to get that product or you get that service, to hire that service. So you must do a lot of research on that market to be able to come up with a very good content that your audience will be interested in. Because you remember what you said the first time, writing to communicate to make impact. If your W does not connect to your C and your C does not connect to your I, you are not writing, you are not doing anything. It's more or less a waste of time. So you must write to communicate, and your communication must also impact. Okay. So you talk about trading, forex, and stock market. So are you a good forex writer? Are you a good stock exchange writer, insurance writer? So all of these things you must find out at your own time to look into yourself. And that's why my attention is drawn fundamentally to this aspect of knowing who you are, knowing what you are good at. Don't be a jack of all trades and a master of none. Know exactly what you are good at. Know what you can write, and it will confidently have an impression on your audience. Web content, SEO, search engine optimization. Yeah, that also has to do with having the knowledge of keywords. Are you going to fluff and stuff your content with keywords that at the end of the day your content does not have ranking on search engines? No, you're not going to do that, because you are sending your audience away from your content. All right. Finance, insurance, email copywriting. A lot of us assume that once I'm able to write text message or a letter, then I'm good at email copywriting. That's not correct. That's a dangerous assumption. Email copywriting is a technical aspect, especially for service providers, especially for product sellers. You're not going to be writing email, digital email content that won't attract your audience. There's a way you have to write it. We're going to deal with all of those things in detail. All right. Now, grant and loan proposals. That's another niche. We also have so many other niches. So we'll be dealing with them one after the other so that it gives us an understanding of what area am I good at. So once you are able to answer that question, then you'll be able to look at, okay, I think I have an interest in this area, I have a knowledge in this area. Of course, some of these things are not cast in stone. You can do research about a lot of these topics, how to do them, and you get idea about them. So the second part of our discussion today has to do with under what condition, under what environment can you write well? If you stay in a very noisy environment, some persons prefer that. They love that. In fact, until they listen to music or until they listen to something beside them, they won't write well. They won't get that inspiration. Fine. If that is good for you, you have to understand that condition, that environment, that inspiring environment. Okay? Do you like quiet environment? Again, you must also answer that question as well. So you can also create your own environment. You don't have to follow the straitjacketed form. You can create your own environment. If you are fine in the dead of the night, why not? So if you understand these conditions, you'll be able to master your heart and you'll be able to deliver great content without any issue. So a writer must understand the conditions under which they can survive and they can succeed and put up a very good content for the audience to swallow. So I hope you've been able to understand the purpose of our discussion today, knowing who you are. And in doing that, you'll be able to understand that these different niches in our writing require that you pay attention to yourself before you pay attention to the audience. Pay attention to yourself, know your area of interest, begin to research about them, begin to research about how you can come up with great content in that niche you have chosen. So if, for example, you are a technical writer, you have to do a lot of research about a particular topic. We'll talk about plagiarism later, we'll talk about grammar later, we'll talk about other things later. But the first thing is that identify your niche. Identify your niche. And once you identify your niche, you will know your audience. Because that automatically, your audience is waiting for you. You are not looking for audience. The audience is already waiting for you. But what you need to attract a lot of audiences to yourself is to write great content and put it out. Let them benefit. Let it make impact in their lives, in their businesses. So that's how far we'll go today. I hope you've been able to pick one or two things. I hope to join you in another interesting session in a few hours time. By then, I remain yours, Master James Tutor, and I hope to be with you for a long time to encourage you in a way that you can make impact as you write and as you grow. Thank you.